Okay, you guys have been watching me play with this Walksnail for the past 2 days. Uh, I've kind of had fun. Didn't wasn't like the notch filters. And let's get to the meat of what went on there. You can see right here is a avatar image file. This is for the firmware version 29.33.16. Now that was contained in my goggles, or the, not really goggles, the receiver for the Walksnail receiver had that firmware on it, but my Walksnail transmitter did not. So to upgrade the firmware, all you have to do is copy this image file, the sky, to the USB portion of the transmitter. You've seen how I hook it to the USB with the little connector out the side that I made the hole in the mount for yesterday so I can get it in and out. You hook that in and you copy this file to the root of that, and then you power up the transmitter and you touch the bind button on the back, and it will do a firmware upgrade. That's how I got it up to 29.33.16. I use this file. There is a ground, avatar ground 2933.16.img image. That is for the Walksnail standalone receiver like I have, or goggles if you're using them. And what that is the same thing, except in this case you would take the SD card out of the Walksnail receiver and you would put that avatar ground to 9.33.16 image file on it, and then you power it up, and basically it upgrades itself that way. The second thing I had to do, there's this unlock procedure zip file that contains this information. There's two little files here and a document that details the unlock procedure, and it's real simple. You just copy those two text files, avatar standard text and avatar PIR text, to the root of the SD card in the receiver or goggles, and basically, just as it says right here, power up the headset, wait for it to finish booting, you'll see the standby screen, and then it's finished. There's just two little files there. This one just has a 1 in it. This one has a 2 in it. That's it. And by having these two files on the root of the SD card, when you power up that transmitter, it unlocks it, gives you complete access to all the channels and complete access to all the power levels. You can only go up to 700 milliwatts until you do the power unlock, and you can only use 4 out of 8 channels until you do the channel unlock, which is the STD one. That's all there is to that. Now, I did have a third problem. Let's see if I can illustrate this well. And the third problem was when I got the OSD going, showed you when I did it that I came into serial 4 on my particular system, because that was the UART. I was using 3, and you set this to 42. This got bumped somehow down to 38.4 last night, and for about 2 hours my OSD quit working, and I tried to figure it out. Finally went to bed, figured it out immediately this morning. I set it back to 115. I didn't touch that. I don't know how it got to 38, but when it did, my OSD didn't work anymore. The other parameter is OSD type, and that is set to a 5, which is display port. After that, you will have OSD data. Now there is one small problem. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and power that up. That's a receiver powered up. Now we'll power up the platform. So I guess we can call those first two videos me playing around, and we'll call this one the meat. Oops, I've got to stop this recording because it's grabbed my... Sorry about that. The screen recorder I use had grabbed this device by mistake. So when I put up the OSD, you see what I've got right here. I've got... This is my OSD. It's got a lot of space right and left. And what I found last night is you can't put a negative value on this to get it over to the left. Those are already at 0. So what you have to do is, I'm coming into the receiver right now, and I'm going into the menus, and I'm going to go over to settings and down to display, and I'm going to go here to OSD position, and you can see the little red line. I'm going to start bumping that OSD to the left until I get it all the way over to the left with the jog wheel, joystick on the Walksnail receiver. So now I've got it as far to the left as it'll go. I'm going to bump it up as far as it'll go. There we go. Now I'm going to leave that there, and we're going to come back out of that, out of that, out of that, out. Okay, you can see I'm sort of all the way over to the left now. I have to come into Mission Planner, OSD, screen 1. This one is not all the way to the left. Let's make it a 0. And let's make this a 0. We'll go ahead and make this a 0. Yeah, try to do all of these. Now this is sort of screwing it up for the analog camera if I use it on this platform, but we'll figure that out later. We'll probably be using... Don't really want that message there. There's a reason I want it over to about 25 for starters. And this, I want to move that one to 25 also for starters. Oops, guess I should have done these two. And I played with this last night and got it all where I wanted, and then it quit working, and I didn't see that somehow the baud had been changed. Okay, all of these over here need to go over to 47, I think. And that puts them off of this. You can't see them anymore here. We'll go 47 on this one. 47 on this one. I'm not sure if this is the way I should be doing this, but this is the only way I found that it did work. Oops. 47. Our message is still at 25. 46. Whoops. 47. 47. 47. And right customizations. You don't have to reboot or anything. You can come out and look at it. Now you'll see this is all the way to the left, all the way down through here to the left. This is still kind of high up and down for me. So is this. And we can see that message needs to come back a little bit, maybe 20 or so. In my artificial horizon, I was trying to put it in the middle here. My other things over here aren't quite lined up the way I want them, and they're overriding the information from the Walksnail itself. So those aren't quite right. I'm going to fix this one real quick right here. We'll just come in here, and that is horizontal dilution of percentage. Let's go down to 15, right customization, see what we got there. We're down there a little more, please. Let's try 17, 16, 17, right customization. You can go right back to your view. That's just about right. We'll try an 18. Now then, I think I really have to change my fonts. But that'll be something else. Because see, that one's right down there. It's on top of that. So that's a little bit too low in my humble opinion. So we'll come back in here and we'll make that 17. Right, that customization. So we can't see our items over to the right anymore. Isn't that a pain in the posterior? Let's bring this back to 20. And let's bring the horizon, and we can't click on it up in the thing here, so we're going to have to find it down here. Let's bring that back to 20. There we go. Write out that customization and go back and look and see what we got. Okay. 20 was too far on the horizon, and looks like too little on the message, so we'll make that 25 and 15. Isn't this crazy? So this is which one? Horizon will be 25. That might not be right. I'll try this one at 15. And I'm going to click right there. There's one more of the wind here. We wanted to take that down to the same as HDOP, which is 10. 10. I'll do 10 there. And right customization. Whoops. And you can see that wind didn't do what I wanted it to. The horizon's not really where I need it, and the message isn't coming through, so the message is almost centered. I can drop the message down and move the horizon one to the right and drop it down a little. So, I want to move this one to the right, so 26. We're going to make it go down to 7. We'll bring our message one back to the left and put it at 9. Right customization. I think what I've shown you at this point, there we go. There's your pre-arm. Looks like it's centered for the message. Horizon looks sort of centered. My platform isn't level, so I've got some wonkiness there. HDOP. What is going on there? HDOP is at 17. Wind is at 10. We'll put wind down at 17 too. Also, right customization. There you go. Here's the wind speed down here. Our horizon, sort of centered, and I don't have a message yet, but I think you can see all of that. Here's my home thing. There's the message. That's kind of centered. That's good. This right here, let's see, we're looking at 17 for the bottom. So we'll bring this to 17. And this is centered at 14. Here we go. We'll try 14 there. So you can't see those things on the screen. These two look like they're really not in a good place. And there we go. Whoops. That needs to go over to, let's try the same as the horizon real quick. Ah, man. And the horizon is at 26. So we'll put home at 26 also. And right customization. Go back and look at our output. There we go. Here's our home signal symbol down here. I'm not going to mash the rest of these around, but you can see what I'm doing. I really didn't find anywhere on the internet that told me how to straighten out this OSD. I just played with it on my own, and it worked. So let's see, battery voltage 47, make that 48, and oops, and 0, 48 and 0. It's got battery voltage up here. Looks like we got our amps in that same area. So I will work on this off screen. I think you can understand what I'm doing now. 47 and 1 for the amperage. And you see we pulled that. So I'm going to push that one to the right. So that'll be on the current 48. Is 48 what I did for home? No, I mean battery voltage. Yeah. So 48 for that. And the efficiency, all of this needs to come down so we don't override our others. So we have our altitude here. Altitude 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take it over to 48. Altitude. We have our vertical speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. We have our battery used. 48. 1, 2. Write that customization out so I can look at what I've just done. Drop my altitude and stuff down. This right here is, what is that value? That's the efficiency. So altitude, battery volt, stats, battery use, current, RSI, flight mode, message, ground speed, throttle, heading home, airspeed, vertical speed, horizontal dilution of percentage, efficiency. Let's throw that down 2 more. And out one. 48. Right customization. Dink. Okay. You see, I don't particularly like that. First of all, this is too low. And this is too bunched in together. So I would bring this amperage down. Bring these down 2 more. Bring this amperage down. Bring these 2 up. That's going to get them kind of close. So let's see. The current would be 2 more, I think. And then the altitude. Oops. And the vertical speed. Okay, to 10. Right, customization. There we go. Oops, see this. These three need to come down, and I got those two on top of each other. So the altitude needs to go up one more, let's say to 9. And the current needs to go down one more to 4. The battery used needs to go down one more to 6. Battery voltage can stay where it is. Efficiency down one more to 5. Right, customization. Let's look at it. Okay. It's so-so in my humble opinion. Let's take current. One more to the right. 49. Unusual. Right, customization. Okay, we got our voltage up here now, all the way to the right. We've got our 2 recordings from the Walksnail uncovered, and we have amperage, efficiency, and milliamp hours used here. Then we have our altitude, our vertical speed, and that vertical speed. Oh, Lordy. 49 on it. Vertical speed, altitude there. Sort of okay. So this is cum see, cum saw for me right now. Spanish for so-so. I really would like the horizon down one more to 9. And the message down one more to 10. Right, customization. There we go. There's the artificial horizon. So there you go. That's sort of okay for starters. And we'll see how that flies. So what I'll do is come out here and I don't really have to do this, but I do it all the time. I'll write that. It's automatically written, and I'll save my new OSD right over the top. There we go. There's the way I got the OSD to be the way I wanted it to be. Don't worry about this square right here. That's caused by me clicking on that screen. So there you go. There was one other option that I changed in all of this, and that was MSP_options. And I changed this on the recommendation of one video to a 4. That's this third bit. Or it can be a 5, which makes these 2 bits set. This one and this one. Maybe enabling telemetry mode is what got that thing set back to 38.4 baud rate and killed my OSD last night. So today I dropped that down to a 5. Although the one video I found that spoke about it said a 4 or 5 would work. I only found 2 videos on Walksnail that were useful to me. And Bonafide Pirate had the most useful data. So that was a whole separate. He's got a few videos on Walksnail. So he's definitely the source right now. Then outside of that, I found 2 other videos. And one of them was very useful. The one was. So that's all the parameters I changed. That's everything I did. That's the way I found the OSD when I first saw it. That's how I mashed it around to fix it. It could be all wrong. It's just what I did. I hope sometimes people see my failures if they turn out to be failures, and if it doesn't keep them from doing the same thing, at least it helps them not to feel so bad about themselves when they do, and I think that's positive. So I may be showing you in the next few days how everything I showed you here just was wrong. And when I booted up the flight controller again, it was just back the way it was, and that's just not how to do it. You really got to put some fonts. I haven't played with fonts yet. There's some overlay programs and stuff that are really cool for Walksnail. I have played with them. I don't really plan on doing videos on them. They're pretty much covered elsewhere. An OSD overlay for the Walksnail that I'm not going to duplicate. But that's my Walksnail journey right now. It's, to me, pretty much ready to fly and see what goes on. Got a little tweaking left on the OSD mapping. The throttle is still up near the altitude. That's why those symbols look bad, is because there was two things overlaid there. The messages in the screen needs to come lower, etc., etc., etc. So I'm going to shut this down. This was basically just to give you the things that I did, perimeter changes I made, and that's it. Thank you guys so much.